The government illegally garnished wages on student loan borrowers. The government has been refunding people this money, but they can't locate approximately 11,000 people. So the government had no problem taking the money, but they're having problems giving it back. The politicians came back from vacation for 2 days to work on the human infrastructure bill. Nancy Pelosi struck a deal with the Democrats in the House of Representatives that were threatening to vote no to the human infrastructure bill. After the deal was struck, the politicians went back on vacation until late September. The Taliban said on Tuesday that Afghans will no longer be allowed to leave the country. The Taliban also said they will not allow America to extend the August 31st deadline. The politicians are criticizing President Biden for allowing the Taliban to give orders to America. This is your Wednesday news, and I hope you're having a very nice day. There's more stimulus relief coming for people making under $50,000 a year, including people without children. It's called the Earned Income Tax Credit. This was in existence before, but the previous stimulus package, it gave it a big upgrade this year, especially for adults without children. This is going to significantly reduce taxes for people this year with the IRS. Additionally, more states are now upgrading the Earned Income Tax Credit with stimulus money that they received from the federal government. So let me give you an example. So in this case, if you live in DC, DC will be ramping up their Earned Income Tax Credit over the course of a few years. So let's say that you currently receive a tax credit of $2,700 right now. By the year 2026, it's going to ramp up to $6,700, which is 2.5 times what it is right now. In Colorado, they base your tax credit off the IRS tax credits, and Colorado is increasing it from 15% to 25%. Connecticut is bumping up their tax credit from 23% to 30.5%. Oklahoma reduced their income tax credit by 70% in 2016. They're restoring it to its full value this year. If you don't owe any taxes, you will get this money refunded to you when you do your tax return. Richard Auxier, a senior associate at the Urban's Brookings Tax Policy Center, said this money goes directly to the population that was most harmed by the Earned Income Tax Credit is a proven poverty-fighting tool. This change is putting thousands of dollars into the pockets of residents. It's a huge, huge change. So I want to give you a helpful tip. Please do not neglect to file a tax return, because in a lot of situations, you don't pay any taxes and the government gives you free money. If you haven't filed your taxes, you may have tax refund money waiting for you and you don't even know about it. You have 3 years to file a tax return and claim any tax refund money. If you don't, then you're going to forfeit that money to the government. So please take a look into that if you haven't filed your taxes, because you may have thousands of dollars waiting for you. I want to talk about a government screw up. So here's what happens. The previous stimulus package made it illegal to garnish wages for federal student loan borrowers. A wage garnishment is when you have an unpaid debt and they take money directly out of your paycheck. The government illegally garnished wages for 382,000 people for $187 billion. The government has issued refunds. However, the government is having trouble tracking down about 11,000 people. The organization Student Defense said, the Department of Education illegally took money from student loan borrowers, and it's their responsibility to figure out how to return it. If you happen to be one of these 11,000 people, you are entitled to a refund and you will get your money back. If this news helps even one person, I would be so happy, so please look into this if this is applicable to you. In political news, I want to update you on the status of the physical infrastructure bill and the human infrastructure bill. The physical infrastructure bill passed in the Senate for $1.2 trillion. The bill got sent to the House of Representatives. Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, said she's not going to vote on the bill until the human infrastructure bill is also ready. She wants to pass both bills at the same time. However, the Senate is still working on the human infrastructure bill and it's not even close to ready. A group of Democrats in the House of Representatives got upset because the House is ready to vote on the physical infrastructure bill, but Nancy Pelosi will not bring it up for a vote. That group of Democrats threatened to vote no to the human infrastructure bill if Nancy Pelosi delayed the vote on the physical infrastructure bill. So Nancy Pelosi reached a deal with that group of Democrats on Tuesday. Pelosi agreed to vote on the physical infrastructure bill no later than September 27th. The group of Democrats said that that was acceptable, so they are no longer threatening to vote no to the human infrastructure bill once it's ready. The politicians came back from vacation for 2 days and they made disagreements and then they left to resume their vacation. The politicians will be on vacation until late September. The Human Infrastructure Bill, it's still a work in progress in the Senate. That bill was supposed to cost $3.5 trillion. However, Democratic Senator Kyrsten Sinema says that she's going to vote no to it if the price tag is $3.5 trillion. She says that it's too expensive. So we'll see how this plays out in the Senate. But once they figure it out, vote on it, and approve it in the Senate, the bill will advance to the House of Representatives where it will no longer face resistance. There are a few politicians in DC working on the Human Infrastructure Bill, but the vast majority of politicians will have an uninterrupted vacation. Democratic leadership says they plan to pass the Human Infrastructure Bill before October 1st. In international news, the Taliban said on Tuesday that Afghans will no longer be allowed to leave the country. The Taliban spokesperson said, "We are not in favor of allowing Afghans to leave." The Taliban also said they will not allow an extension of the August 31st deadline. The Taliban spokesperson said, "Americans have the opportunity, they have the resources, they can take all the people that belong to them, but we are not going to allow Afghans to leave, and we will not extend the deadline." Extending the deadline would be a violation of the Biden administration's promise. If the US were to seek additional time to continue evacuations, the answer is no, or there will be consequences. After hearing this, President Biden said on Tuesday he is sticking to his August 31st deadline. The politicians are criticizing President Biden that the Taliban is dictating the terms. Senator Ben Sasse said, "Damn the deadline. The American people are not going to surrender our fellow citizens to the Taliban." This was the senator's official statement that was issued on Tuesday. Sasse said, "Biden should be calling the shots, not the Taliban." Congressman Steve Scalise said, "We need to have the top priority to tell the Taliban that we're going to get all of our people out, regardless of what timeline was initially set." Senator Mitch McConnell said on Tuesday, "The president needs to forget about the August 31st deadline. Extend the deadline. Make sure that every single American who wants to leave is able to get out. The Taliban should not be allowed to tell us how long we are there to get our personnel out." But Pentagon spokesperson John Kirby said to reporters on Tuesday there has not been a change to the timeline of the mission. The White House issued a statement that said, "We are currently on pace to finish by August 31st. However, House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff said, "I think it's possible by August 31st, but I think it's very unlikely given the number of Americans who still need to be evacuated out." In current events, there are currently 10 million job openings in America. Teenagers have been capitalizing on the opportunity, and they've been earning some money over the summer. This has actually been a big help to businesses that are finding it difficult to find employees. It's been difficult finding employees because so many of these jobs do not pay well, but teenagers have been willing to take them. If there's a job for $7.25 an hour, that's not good, but teenagers are happy to take it. But now we have a big problem. School is starting. These kids are quitting in large scale because they have to go back to school. Because of this, many businesses are now being forced to close early due to a lack of workers. So here's some examples. Multiple Chick-fil-A restaurants are closing early in Alabama because they don't have enough staff. A public pool in West Virginia is closing early for the year because they can't find enough lifeguards. A recreational park in Colorado said, "As seasonal staff members leave for school, we simply do not have enough staff to maintain the current hours of operation." And I wanted to end with this interesting information. According to the Federal Reserve's most recent findings, the median net worth of an American household is $121,700. However, the difference in net worth between homeowners and renters is significant. The median net worth of a homeowner in America is $255,000. The median net worth of a renter in America is $6,300. Owning a home forces you to save money because every time you make a mortgage payment, a portion of that payment pays down the principal, which builds up your assets. Also, homes usually go up in value, which will add to your net worth. Homes also give you tax deduction. But Nick Coleman, a certified planner at Betterment, says, just because someone is a homeowner doesn't automatically mean they will become wealthier. Homes are expensive to buy, maintain, and sell. If you don't plan on owning your home for at least 4 years, you are not likely to break even on your purchase. That's the news for today. If you enjoyed today's report, please be sure to subscribe.